All right, first screencast of the year. Buckle up. Let's get ready to roll here. First, we're going to review the obstacles and the successes of the Jamestown colony. And then we're going to move on into new learning. Puritan motives for leaving England, describing roles that women played. And I'm actually going to say nice things about women, so you guys will want to stay tuned for that. And identify some incidents that threatened the new colony in Massachusetts. So these ones that you guys are seeing right now are review from earlier today. If you need to pause it and write any of this stuff down, go ahead. Obstacles to review. Poor relations with the natives, starvation, disease. So starvation due to no livestock and some unskilled workers, disease due to poor water supply, and interaction with the Native American diseases. The leadership of many of the colonies were very poor, and they had super unreal expectations, like thinking they were going to find gold and silver and copper right away and come up with a bunch of cash crops that just wasn't realistic. So you guys got to check this out. So second hour, I tell Emma, who's just, on her phone, just texting away, like beep, 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 over and over and over. And I told her that I was going to take her phone away, and that's what her reaction was. So, I mean, it's unbelievable, you guys. Welcome to my life. So, all right, on to some new learning. Puritans and the Pilgrims. Big difference between the two is, if you want to highlight or draw a little arrow to or whatever, Pilgrims were complete separation. Puritans wanted to take existing documents, Bible, beliefs, and just kind of purify them a little bit. So not a huge change, a little change. Pilgrims were a total change. Puritans were unwelcome in England because they were straying from the beliefs of the king and their followers. And so they were sort of kind of persecuted economically. They didn't let them have the good jobs. They didn't let them have voting rights. They didn't treat the children very well. So they first moved to other countries in Europe and then just decided it would be better off to go to America. The Pilgrims were immediately kicked out because they had such kind of a vicious separation from the Church of England. The Pilgrims started the Plymouth colony, and the Puritans went to Massachusetts and started the Massachusetts Bay colony. Up next here for us is Massachusetts Bay. Really good leader, John Winthrop, a great location. Those two were the reason why you see that it was the greatest in size of all of the colonies. They took the Puritans and the Pilgrims and merged them together, and that was part of the reason why the colony was so large. This colony had a big focus on education because it made it mandatory that the kids in the colony could read so that they could read the Bible and live a moral and ethical life. So a couple things that threatened some of these colonies. One is a dude named Roger Williams who, like you can see, was an extreme separatist. He spoke out publicly and pretty aggressively against the Puritans, and they pretty much forced him to leave. I think a misconception, this would be maybe something you want to write down, is that all of the colonies in present-day America were religiously free. That's not true. You couldn't be whatever religion you wanted to. You could be whatever religion the colony wanted you to be, except for the one that Roger Williams started in Providence. He started a colony that was truly religiously free, where you could be any religion you wanted to, and no one was gonna do anything to you, which obviously was highly controversial and people didn't agree with. The next dissenter was a gal named Anne Hutchinson. I think people didn't like her mostly because she was a woman leading warships, and that was frowned upon during this time period. And she would preach that the Bible was produced with the intention in mind that people could make their own interpretations of it instead of reading it and believing it. You could read it and make up your own interpretations, which also a lot of people did not like. And this sort of kind of led to the whole Salem witchcraft and witchcraft trials, where people were blaming kind of some weird things that were happening to kids, like seizures and stuff like that, on some of Anne Hutchinson and her followers, saying that she would practice witchcraft. The last learning target of the day is to describe the role that women played, and yes, I'm going to talk about how great they were. They were a very important part of the Puritan colonies. Probably they wouldn't have survived without them. They helped with harvests. They made things on the farm like soap and clothing and butter and other goods. And then whenever they had extra, they could take it into town and sell it, which provided for some really important economic relief for the families. So if you here's the deal on the screencast. If you need to go back and re-listen, go ahead. Remember, you can pause it at any point and rewind and take some really great notes. And then also be sure that you're documenting any questions you have. If you have any questions that you don't understand or don't make sense, be sure to write it down, and we can talk about it before you take a quiz when you get to class tomorrow. See you tomorrow.